I have had the incredible good fortune of living a very rich multilingual life. Born in Amritsar, India, I acquired Punjabi, English, and a smattering of Urdu naturally. Later, as a foreign student in the then West Germany, I acquired German through the hard discipline of grammar, structure, sentence, idioms, and metaphors. It was there on a hike in the Alps where I met my husband and life partner. He was from Iran, and after completing our studies, we decided to return to his home country to begin our lives. In Tehran, I picked up bits of Farsi here and there in order to survive in a new country. And then world events overtook our lives, and we found ourselves compelled to start all over again in Canada as immigrants. We arrived, as many others do, with a bag full of dreams, our life experiences, and the languages that were part of our lives. My husband and I would speak Farsi, for instance, when we visited Gerrard Street or Little India in Toronto, when something puzzled us about the products and we needed to quietly consult with each other, without being rude. As our family grew, we would often revert to German when we did not want the kids to listen in or understand. Over time, some of these languages have faded from my mind, but I have noted that I become a slightly different person based on the language I am speaking. When I speak Hindi at home with my mother, I become much more her daughter, with all the cultural norms associated with a mother-daughter relationship. When I speak Urdu, it is automatic to become more elegant, more deferential, more courteous, because that is the nature of the language. When I speak German, I feel both more precise, yet also more poetic. And when I speak Farsi, I am reminded that some languages have innate hospitality ingrained in them, because a cup of tea will soon follow. But it is English that gives me confidence. It is the language that has defined my life in Canada, and the one that I use to speak to the national interest in the Senate of Canada as an independent senator representing Ontario. I hope to learn French now, as I understand how essential bilingualism is to our national identity, and because I also know that if you really want to peer into the soul of a culture, the best way to do so is to learn and speak their language. When someone asks me to think, thankfully not often, or to think of music, I will always revert to the songs of my youth in Hindi. When someone asks me to name a book that I most admire, I will always think of Charles Dickens. Some people, fluent in English and French, are only able to count in Chinese or Arabic. Others still dream in Serbian or Arabic, or can only find their funny bone in Spanish. And I know that as people become older and more dependent, that they revert to their mother tongues more and more. One of the most moving pieces on this theme comes from Dragan Todorovic, a Serbian journalist and editor who emigrated from the former Yugoslavia to Canada. In addressing a woman he is trying to woo, he says, "If we spoke in my language, you would have fallen in love with me 3 hours ago. Can you just love me now and understand me later?" All this to conclude that we are indeed the language that we speak. May we always see languages bringing us together and not setting us apart.